Hello and welcome to another Ready to Ride Pilates session, where today we are going to be focusing on your ability to be coordinated, to multitask in the saddle. This is going to be quite an intense session, so I suggest that you warm up before you start. So if you haven't already warmed up, pause this one, go and do a warm-up session and then come back and join in. So we are going to start off with a bit of walking on the spot. So you're going to be doing those diagonal pairs of arms and legs, thinking about your regular breathing, your ribs staying down towards your pelvis, and your pelvic floor staying onto floor 3. I do hope that the sun coming round isn't starting to make seeing me a little bit tricky. Just watch that your ribs don't start to creep up and find yourself swinging forwards. So keep those ribs gently down, and then we're going to change it into the wide position. So feet out wide, take out your apple tree, feet out wide, and this time you want to watch that your body is staying still, you're not turning into a windmill. Remember, when you're in the saddle, you want to have that feeling that your body is stable. It wants to be soft and pliable in the middle so it can move with the horse. But it wants to stay stable so you can move your arms and legs, but have a nice stable connection between the two of them. Okie doke. Let's bring your arms back down before we lose all circulation. We're going to move on into a lunge exercise. I should be a little bit careful, there's a lot of dew on my grass, so hopefully I'm not going to go flying. So we're going to go into a lunge position, then arms across your chest, and you're turning shoulders side to side. Come up, go forward with the other foot, try not to fall over, turn from side to side. As you go into those turns, keep your shoulders level and your headlights to the front. Try to keep your breathing regular and your knees over your second and third toes. So we are in this exercise keeping your lower body as still as you can, your upper body as mobile as you can, but maintaining that nice level shoulder position so that you don't end up into that dipped shoulder that some of us, whoops, as I go flying, that some of us tend to have as a bad habit or an unhelpful habit. Do one more each way. Last one. Super job. Okie doke. We're going to go into your roll down. So if you can go to the end of your mat, feet together, knees nice and soft, hands on the front of your thighs, chin onto your chest, and slide your hands down, curling up as tight as you can through the whole of your spine. Pause at the bottom for a nice big breath in. As you breathe out, we're going down onto your mat and we're going to start off on your side. We're going to do the side bend exercise. So you need to be in your capital L position. So that's straight line, shoulders, hips to knees, knees bent to 90 degrees, propped up on your forearm. If you've got shoulder pain, you can do a variation of this exercise flat on your mat. So you won't be able to do quite the same thing, but you can modify it to work around your shoulder. So if you're doing the same as me though, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and you're synchronizing, lifting your pelvis, you're taking your arm over your head and bringing the two back down together. We're looking for that nice, smooth, flowing movement all the way through. Pelvic floor staying onto floor 3, and watching that you don't take a big breath in or hold your breath as you do the movement. If you're finding that easy, float your top leg and then carry on. Same thing. Looking for that nice coordination, synchronization of pelvis and arm. Then if you want to make it harder still, we can add on moving that top leg as well. So now you're combining 3 different parts to this exercise, but you're still looking for that nice control. So you're coordinating but also under control, not landing with a plop, keeping your breathing really regular. We'll do one last one. Super job. Okie doke. We're going to go onto your back now, and we're going to do your shoulder bridge, so you don't need to have headrest for this one. So feet and knees approximately hip width apart, and think about having that nice neutral pelvis before you start. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you're going to imprint and then peel up each vertebrae one at a time. Pause at the top, that nice breath in, and then breathe out, coming down each vertebrae in turn through your imprint to neutral. So it's pelvic floor, imprint, heel up. Make sure you can breathe at the top. And then as you come back down, it's each vertebrae in turn through your imprint to neutral. Now I would like you to have your hands up above your head. You want to have your hands about shoulder width apart, nice and soft and relaxed. And you're going to come up. And then again, slowly back down. So you're making sure you do your nice breath in at the top and breath out. But also make sure that you're still doing your nice, controlled lifting and lowering of each level of your spine. And then the next one you do, you're going to stay up into that position. I'd like you to have to go doing a few of your hip dips. So you're keeping your arms still and you're doing a few hip dips. You're dipping one side of your pelvis at a time, the other side stays still. Watch that you're not just spinning around the middle. So just one side of the pelvis is on the move, but your hands stay completely still. Don't forget to breathe as well and keep your pelvic floor onto floor 3. So your hands are still and soft, so your shoulders aren't moving even though your pelvis is on the move. One more each way, and then bring your pelvis back down and then through your imprint to neutral. Okay, last few, we're going to combine moving your arms with your bridge. So imprint, and then as you lift up, you take your arms over your head, breathe in this position, and then as you come back down, every vertebra in turn, hands back up to your starting point. So it's imprint, and as you peel up, your arms go over your head, and as you come back down, hands come back up. So you still want to be focusing on the quality of your imprinting and your vertebrae moving one at a time, but you also want to be thinking about that smooth movement with your hands, making sure that your hands aren't getting rigid, that they stay soft and shoulder width apart. We'll do one more of this one. Super job. Bring your arms back down and we're going to move on to doing your scissors combined with your hip twist. So we'll run through how to do each one individually and then we'll put them together. So for your scissors, pelvic floor onto floor 3, you might want to have your hands onto your headlights, ribs to pelvis, and you can bring one leg up to tabletop in turn and back down, so you're alternating from side to side, or you can go from tabletop. And we won't make it any harder than this, because if you make it any harder than this, it won't work with the hip twist. But from here you are tapping each foot down and back up in turn. If you are going to move on to your hip twist now, your hip twist is either rolling each knee out in turn. Remember, these are both wine glass exercises, so the leg that isn't moving wants to stay absolutely still. Or if you want to go from the slightly harder version, from tabletop, and it's the whole leg coming out. So in both versions you're moving from the hip, but when you're on the floor it's just the knee. When you're in tabletop it's the whole leg. Both of these exercises you want to think ribs to pelvis. That's going to help keep you stable in the middle and use that feedback from your headlights. Okay, so let's have a go at putting them together. If you're going to go from the floor, you've got one leg coming up into scissors, one leg out into hip twist, both down together, and then the same thing the other way. Obviously this is now not a wine glass exercise, but you still want to be thinking about headlights staying still. If you're going to go from tabletop, you've got one leg coming down to scissors, one leg out for hip twist and back up, and then the same thing the other way. You may well find that you can't move your legs quite as far as you would if you were doing the exercises individually, and your real focus with both is to make sure that you are moving from your hips, not moving from your tummy, not moving from your knees. You are moving from your hips. Don't forget to breathe and try to keep your pelvic floor still onto floor 3, giving you that support. We'll do one more with each movement. Super job. Feet back down one at a time. We're going to go onto the side you haven't already been on, so you're going to spin round and we're going to do your side bend this way. So same rules apply as before. If you've got a dodgy shoulder, by all means do this absolutely flat. But wherever you are, you want to be in your capital L position. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, and we start with that nice lift and lower of your pelvis and top arm. Should be nice and straightforward. Looking for that synchronization and control with the pelvic floor staying onto floor 3. If you want to make it harder, then we'll float that top leg. Just watch as you make it harder that you don't then start to hold your breath. That's so often what happens. You go up a level, make it harder, and you start to cheat a little bit. So watch that you aren't cheating. Okay, then if you want to make it harder still, then you're adding in straightening, can't get my words out, straightening your top leg as well. So now we're back to that synchronizing arm, leg and pelvis, but still all under control. Again, watching that you're breathing, not holding your breath, and that your pelvic floor is onto floor 3. We'll do 2 more of this one. Last one. Okie doke. Let's go onto your hands and knees, and we are going to have a go at doing swimming, well, the Pilates version of swimming anyway. So hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and we're going to go straight in with combining your arms and legs. So you're taking opposite arms and legs out, making sure that your back is staying really flat. So with your legs, just watch that you slide and lift rather than lift, because if you go straight into that lift, it's much more destabilizing. So slide and lift, keep your back nice and flat and still, keep your breathing regular, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Then we're going to see if we can change it slightly, and you're going to do your arms and legs to the side. So you're still doing opposite arms and legs, but they're going to the side. And again, you want your back to stay as still as you possibly can in between. So it's again providing you that nice, stable, consistent base for your arms and legs to move from. We'll do one last one. Super job. Hands towards your knees. Then we're going to come up into standing. And we're going to move on to doing a little squat exercise to get your arms involved a little bit too. So we're going to go just into a comfortable squat position. It doesn't matter too much. Then I'd like you to come up onto your toes. So have your legs as far apart as they feel comfortable, but on your toes. Then arms as if you're holding onto your reins. Start off just by doing a nice give and you take movement, and then see if you can go as if you were going over a fence. So your squat is now on the move. You're not staying still in your squat. You're going down and back up again. And as you go forwards, keep your hands soft, try not to fall over, hands soft and hands level. So if you were going over a fence right now, your contact would be staying really even, because you are strong and stable around your shoulders, and you are strong and stable through your seat and through your legs. Two more. Last one. Good job. Okay, feet just back underneath your hips a little bit, and we're going to finish off kind of the coordination side with doing your foot series with your arms. So the best thing to do is watch for the arms, listen for the feet. So we're going to go up onto your toes, bend your knees, drop your heels, straighten. Onto your toes, bend your knees, drop your heels, straighten. Onto your toes, bend your knees, drop your heels, straighten. Onto your toes, bend your knees, drop your heels, straighten into reverse. So bend the knees, lift your heels, straighten and down. Bend, lift, straighten, 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 down. Last one. Bend, lift, straighten, down. Good job, well done. Little walk on the spot, loosen off through your shoulders. Feet back under your knees, and knees nice and soft. Bring one arm up for a nice big breath in, and then breathe out, down and round, and back up. Another big breath in, breathe out. One more this way, so big breath in, and breathe out. Bring that arm down by your side, keep your knees soft as you reach up the other arm for a breath in, and breathe out. Breath in at the top, breathe out. Last one. Breathe out. And then bring that arm back down by your side. So well done if you got to the end of all of that and you've managed all of those as described. You've done a brilliant job. Remember, the more you practice using all your body parts in lots of different ways, the easier it will be when you get onto the horse. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, particularly if you've enjoyed it. It always makes such a difference to my day when I see a new subscriber has pinged onto my list. Look after yourselves and I'll see you very soon.